way that we started to look at it was, are there partners that we're overlapping with that we can share some resources with? So Voice of San Diego we already kind of had in the tent and we're using in some very limited ways. There's a newspaper, the North County Times here, that is in the North County of San Diego. It's one big DMA here. And you know, we partnered up with them. We partnered up with the UT on a couple of things. The big Goliath newspaper here, we actually entered into a local news service agreement with our biggest competition, the CBS station here, to share video of like press conferences and court things that we were probably pooling for the most part anyway, and said, okay, instead of us having a photographer go and sit there while you shoot the pool camera, you're just going to send your person and we'll send ours to someone else. And we shared video back and forth. And kind of what it spun into was an openness to do some journalism and accept facts from other people, check them if we needed to check them, and then put them on the air, but not necessarily waste our resources doing the same story they're doing with a different bent or a TV angle on it. And that's really the benefit that we have. And as we come out of the recession, we're now positioned in a much better place where, you know, we've got all these ideas now. You know, we gave Comcast, when they started to take over, they asked, well, what are your ideas for new shows or new newscasts or whatever? And we could give them literally a menu of 10 shows that we really have thought about that we would like to do and how to do them and how much it would cost. And a lot of that is really just imagination coming forward and saying, hey, this is a really great idea. I saw this and I like to do this. You know, whether it's a political show or we used to do a Spanish language newscast, and now we do it in a totally different way. And a lot of it is really just opening people's eyes to partnerships or collaboration and then seeing where they take it.
Hi, it's Alan Gottlieb. I run an education news website in Denver.
Uh-huh.
Just a quick question. We also partner with KUSA, the NBC affiliate in Denver. But our partnership really consists of, if we have a good story, I email them and they put the story up on their website. We've never really gotten to the point of the sort of on-air thing. So I'm just trying to figure out how to take it another step. And I just ask you, I guess, sort of theoretical question, which is, obviously the Voice of San Diego covers a lot of different kinds of issues. Do you think that an entity that just covers one issue really in depth, like education, could form, theoretically at least, a partnership of the same kind you're talking about? Or are you really looking, is that too much brain damage for one issue area and you're really looking for somebody you can partner with on a variety of stories?
Not at all. In fact, we have sold a client here, and Voice of San Diego really isn't as broad as you might think. I don't know if you can look at their website. When you go look at it, I believe they have now 8 beats is all, which I know sounds like a lot when you've only got education as one, but from a TV station that has to cover a lot of stuff, it would be a great luxury to have just one, or certainly only 8 where you had to deal with it. Because the other things that you do, you hear about something and they pass it to us as an idea. It's not in our focus, but it's certainly something y'all might want to look into. But in education, I think the one really good idea to look for is have your people who are reporters on education be sounding boards or experts for KUSA, and at some point, as you're using them to be a soundbite to explain something that's very complicated, say, you know, the little problem of unions versus, you know, a free market in teachers, or, you know, how many schools do you need to shut down to make the budget work, and should you shut them down? Are there charter schools? These are things that TV stations don't have necessarily an expert on. I know we have a former teacher, a former English teacher on our staff as a reporter. She's one of our lead reporters, and even now she struggles sometimes to get her arms around those things. So, you know, set yourself up first as the expert, and then as they bring you in on camera, then start talking about, hey, you know what we could do is we could do an entire explainer piece on this. Or is there a time when they have a public comment type of show where you might set it up for a whole 30 minutes and have one of your reporters on and one of their reporters on, and do it just informally in those ways first. And I promise you, the more you try, the more you'll succeed. It'll grow.
Thanks.
Hello, my name is Katie McCrimmon, and I work for a health policy website, as similar to Alan's, a niche site. And a lot of us come from a print background, and I'm just wondering if you had any trouble adapting to the different styles of the long form print versus the video, and if you have any advice for us. I think video is really the future, about adapting our skills.
First off, I would say everybody, whether you're print or TV or online or whatever, should at very least be able to, take good pictures, even good video, and know how to put some rudimentary edits into it to make it work. We had Voice of San Diego trying to learn to shoot some video, and what it really boiled down to is they just don't have photographers that are videographers. And so we provide the pictures most of the time, although they have a wonderful still picture photographer. And we coach them a little bit on delivery of a story, but a lot of it is just letting them do what they do best, which is explain stuff or act as an expert, because they've done so much more in-depth reporting. And that's where, I still have to read the newspaper every morning, and I get a lot of depth out of that newspaper. It doesn't mean that I necessarily want to go into that, and as a newspaper person, you may not necessarily want to go into TV, but realize that everybody has some kind of value to the other. And it's really kind of harnessing that value and having everybody realize what everybody has to offer that makes it work.
Thank you.
Hey, Chuck, this is Steve again. Along those same lines, I would say a lot of the digital people are, experimenting with things as low quality as phone cameras to do video. And going back a number of years, you have to think people, media organizations like BBC even experimenting with stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm wondering if any of that is useful for you, or are you really kind of stuck on needing the really high quality stuff?
No. We currently use high quality TV cameras, but we also have in the past taken, all of us carry BlackBerry Bolds, and they can take a limited amount of video, and it's enough quality, we'll put it on the air if the pictures are important enough. We ask for user-generated content, just like any other website would. And I know that we've tried a Droid X in the field across a Wi-Fi network, and it does it better than most others. The iPhone delivers okay video. The trick is, at some point you get so big it's hard to get the stuff back in a reasonable amount of time. So it's not necessarily a camera problem or even a camera quality problem. It's that at some point the packet of information is hard to move, and so we need to use like a microwave or have them bring it into the station or something like that. It's more the delivery of it to us than it is a quality issue on the camera side.
Okay, thanks.
I mean, let's face it, if video is good enough, TV stations are going to use it. We ask for UGC all the time.
Anybody else? Or? Then, Chuck, I think we're good. Thank you very, very much for taking the time out of your Saturday to join us.
Oh, I wish everybody luck. I know that there are a lot of really great investigative sites across the country, and I think I'm lucky that I'm in a place that already uses them, but I also think that they'd be very valuable in any other city that I move to at any time. And I think that's really the way that journalism is headed.